welcome back. And we have here a pot that I've made. This is actually my first pot. So as you see, there are a lot of mistakes that I've made. A lot of times people think that if you're a bonsai owner, your main priority is taking care of trees. Now what do we have here? Here is my first ever made pot. It's a cement pot with a building sand, and I will explain to you why I made this pot. First of all, if you want to get into bonsais, you're either gonna have a lot of money, like spending a lot of money buying pots, buying trees, and buying, or you can just make everything by yourself, so you can afford pretty much everything. Now a lot of people have this misconception that if you have trees and your hobby is bonsais, you spend all day taking care of trees, but so far this is not what I've experienced. There are a lot of things, and one of these things is making your own pot, and as you see, I have done a lot of mistakes. Let me show you how the inside looks like. So here I've made my 4 holes, the drainage holes, and as you see, they're very small. When I made them, they look to me really big, but when the pot dried up, they look like, now that I'm looking at them, they look quite small. So next time I will have to make them bigger. Now the next mistake is at the bottom here. You can see these are the legs of the pot, like they're too short. The legs are too short basically, so that's another point that I have to focus. But I do have this nice sweet space underneath on each side, so the way it is, it's a functional pot, and I'm in a desperate need of pots, so I would love to use it. My initials are in the back to prove that this is mine, and they look quite funny, to be honest. Here, next time I will make sure put them on the inside of the pot or on the side, smaller and nicer. But yeah, like, I mean, for a first pot, overall it doesn't look bad. It's really usable. Today what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna file some edges, try and kind of like fix the mistakes that I've made, paint the pot black, and try and paint the legs white, or paint the whole thing black. We'll just have to see how it's gonna go. So far my journey with my trees is been like that. I never thought I will end up making pots. I thought it's really difficult. The way I've done it, basically you need a container. I used this white bucket that I had, and I've topped it up with sand, and then I've built over it. I used stuff that I already had in my house, and it worked for me. Obviously you have to spend some money if you end up making your own pot. I think it's really cheap. I paid £5 for 25 kilos cement bag, and less than £2 for a couple of kilos, like 5 kilos building sand. And that's all you need. That's what I've used here. The pot looks like it's really strong and solid. I cleansed it with water. I left it in water for 7 days, and now it's ready to get its first color. You shouldn't repot at this time of the year, so I'm not going to be destroying any roots or cutting any roots. Now the reason that I'm going to do this right now, and I'm not doing it next year, it's because of the YouTube channel. It's because of this channel, and for the sake of the video, we will do that. But for now, I hope you guys gonna enjoy the process of painting an ugly pot like this one. And as I said, a pot is a pot, and if I have an empty pot, I will put a tree inside, even if the pot is not perfect. But I'm really proud of myself that I managed to make something like that. I'm actually quite proud for the how big this pot is. and I think it will be very efficient. And if the pot breaks or within 2 years time cracks, it's fine. It costed me maybe less than £1 to make the whole thing. A lot of effort. I wouldn't say it's too difficult, but there's a process to it. On my next pot I will record myself making a pot, so you can see by yourself how you can do it. It doesn't matter if it's going to be a great pot or a bad pot, as long as it's functional, as long as it works, then you're fine. Obviously we're using stuff that we have at home. I don't even know where I found this thing. I don't know how I have it. Somebody gave it to me and he never took it back, or it was in the house when I moved in. Just don't know. You know, there are so many things you can find on your house that you bought maybe a year ago or a couple of years back, and you forget that you have them. So you'll be amazed with the things you can do when you're stuck at home and you're making something, whatever it is that you're making. If you're I think for me life is a lot better when you're creating stuff. When I'm just using things, I don't get the same pleasure. Say, for example, if I'm playing games all day, yeah, it's fun, I will enjoy it, but when I'm making something from scratch, the happiness I get or the pleasure I get is a lot more. So if you're the same type of person like me, that you like building stuff and you don't know what, just follow your heart, enjoy the ride, because the time will come that you will make something and you'll see that the pleasure you're gonna get will be 1,000 times more. So you just try it. If it's bonsais you like, I highly recommend you should try something like that. For example, I bought this summer. It wasn't in this pot, it was in a smaller pot, and it was in a badly need of a new pot. It was left over, that's why it has some dead branches. But the moment I seen it, I fell in love with the trunk, how it spins and the shape it has. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of work here to make things more visible. And overall, you don't always have to wire your trees. If you are happy with how your trunk looks like, then you can slowly start shaping up your leaves on the top, so you can get like a nice round shape. So I think the moment I'm going to repot this, and I'm saying repot, like I don't mean like breaking any roots or anything, just literally taking the whole thing out and putting it here. It's going to be a lot more oxygen for the tree. Obviously it's going to be a little bit higher, but we don't mind because the root is growing at the top, and slowly by watering it, the soil will keep dropping on the sides, and eventually the root will look a lot better here within the next couple of years. And by keep trimming the top part, the tree will get a lot thicker and a lot better. It will keep developing itself, and that's the whole purpose. And I'm hoping that it will look a lot nicer here than it's already here. And plus it's a pot that I made, so obviously I'll be really proud to see it coming in here and settling its new house. Yeah, soon I'm gonna start painting. I just need to file this side. It's a little bit sharp, so I'm trying to make the pot a bit smoother for a hand to touch, or a skin so I don't want to cut myself in the future by touching this pot. So I'm trying to make the whole thing smooth, and I think the paint will look a lot nicer by doing so. And but for color, I really had no color for this, but remember my brother painted his balcony, so I went over and I asked him if he has any paint, and he gave me a nice black color. Some people will hate me for this, but don't rush on buying stuff. If you check your options, maybe some neighbor of yours or a friend of yours or your mom and dad, they already have what you need. And if you a little bit compromise with your choices, for example, I always thought this, when I was making this, I was thinking of a brown pot, but a black color came for free, so black color it is. If you like trees like me, and if you see a tree that is dying on some owner, and the owner that really doesn't care, and say, hey, I've noticed that you have a tree over there, hi, how you doing, and it's in a really bad shape, maybe I can help, maybe I can step in. You don't really need to go and take this guy's tree, but you can give him an advice if you know a thing or two. So yeah, saying that, you can always try and find a different way from the usual and the simplest way of opening your wallet and buying something. Try and see what you can do, what you can find, how you can just keep going with your journey of whatever it is that you're doing, and proceed in a way that you will be successful, and it will feel a lot nicer by doing so. I feel quite happy that it looks actually like that. It looks like a pot. Yeah, so I think that looks good. Just gonna clean up here quickly. So we're back again, and things look clean here. I think it's better if I just do it here. See, it says wood and metal, but I'm gonna try it either way, see what happens. I think in this channel we're just gonna be improvising mostly. We're gonna be using stuff that we already have, and this is what I have, so I hope it's gonna do the job. Oh, that doesn't look bad. Oh, that looks so good. That's not bad at all. Seems like it's drying really quickly. Yeah man, free color. I always do that, like whenever I see something that I find a use of it, the first thing I do is I ask if it's available for me, for my reach, and the answer is always yes, especially from family members, because most of the time I see my friends or family members, they have stuff at home that they never use. So always ask, you never know. You never know. That looks quite good. I really like it how it looks. So the pot took me around 4 hours of work and a lot of mess that I had to clean. So far I had a really good time making this pot, and I'm 100% sure I'm gonna make a second one and a third one and a fourth one, and I'm enjoying a lot more the process of creating a pot than buying one, because at the beginning I was buying stuff, you know. I was buying pots, and I wouldn't say it's the best feeling in the world when you're spending a lot of money. They're very expensive, and I've paid £30 to get something that's half its size, you know. And I never even dared to look how expensive are the other pots, the bigger ones. They were something like that would be like this size would be close to £100, I would say, and you won't get something that's really good that has drawings and stuff. One plain color and there you have it, you know. So in making pots there's a lot of money, maybe even more money than buying trees, because people, the first thing they do or they want to do, I done the same, that's why I keep saying that, and I've noticed it on some friends of mine. They're doing similar stuff. The moment they buy a tree, they want to repot the tree, and I think they do that because they think the tree has maximized his time of being in this tree, and by putting it on a bigger pot they will have to worry less or work less in the future. So they're like, okay, I get something that's twice the size, which is a mistake, and my tree will be fine for the next 3 or 4 years, and I won't have to worry about it. So the first thing they do, they buy a pot. So if you want to really enjoy your new bonsai you bought and you really want to repot it, I strongly suggest you, instead of buying one, if you have a day off from work or a weekend off, say, and you don't really have any plans, spend that day creating one. Make your own pot. You will love it so much, and it won't matter how it's gonna look like, even if it's like something that's, to be honest, I think the weirder the shape the better. Like, I don't think ordinary stuff will work anymore nowadays. Make pots from now on in my life. I don't want to like be a salesman or work on a retail or do whatever it is that you're doing, or even it doesn't have to be like a low paid job. It can be a high paid job, because what I've noticed so far, especially on corporate jobs, the higher you get, the more you get promoted, the money you're earning are always gonna be, you will never be satisfied with your paycheck. Every time you're gonna get paid, it will always gonna look like you're getting underestimated for the time you're spending there. And the higher you get, they are like gonna be putting a lot of responsibility over your shoulders, and I think that's a terrible way to live. We should all be really relaxed. I think that looks good. Some bubbles here, I don't know why. Yeah, you'll be really relaxed as a person, be a lot calmer. I think no wonder people get sick, you know. You work constantly. I work in a hotel, and I used to be all the time angry, all the time upset, for no reason. It's just I was interacting way too much with people, and I couldn't be myself. I couldn't reply on situations the way a normal person would reply, because sometimes people can be like too much, like they are asking for things, they're like babies, you know, babies, adult babies, and it's because of the advertisements they're getting. They think they're gonna come and see some very amazing place, and every time reality usually disappoints you, and you get upset and angry, and you start complaining about things left and right. God what's happening here. Get a little bit more color. There we go. And it looks good. I wouldn't expect that this would look so good. It looked so bad when I was making it. So I'm just gonna have to let it dry now, and we're gonna be putting this beauty in there. And I want you to see why. If you're picking trees, try and pay attention to the trunk, how the tree grew up. Okay, try and see that. Try and see this stuff. This is what I pay attention mostly. So you're buying a pot and you want to pay attention here, what is happening here, over here, how the tree grew up, because that's only going to get bigger with time and it's going to look a lot better later on. And overall it looks good, it looks really healthy. I like this, in a way, twin trunk here. It's naturally made. It's gonna grow really healthy. It's gonna grow to be really healthy. I paid for something like that. If you go and buy an indoor tree, it's so expensive and a lot smaller than this and probably less healthier. But if you buy something that's local in your area, you will be getting something like that and it will be really cheap. That was like less than 20 pounds, maybe less than 10. I can't really remember, but it was a lot smaller in the pot. So I just changed the trainer pot with a little slightly bigger one, so it will give him room to develop. It was really root bound. Well, I think it had more room to grow, a little bit more, but I gave it a little bit extra. I'm not sure if that was the best move, but it's been reacting really nicely. And when it's gonna be when it's gonna get in here, I think it will look even better. Oh well, we'll see how it's gonna go. I'm really worried for these 4 holes, so I'm not gonna over soil the situation, so I'm gonna let a lot of oxygen coming through the sides of the pot. Hi there guys, we're back again. Things look a little bit drier here, so I want to see what's happening behind the tape. I've noticed that if you leave the tape really long, it kind of like gets attached with the pot, or if you're painting the wall, and sometimes you strip away some color, or you're damaging a part of the wall. So we got this thing out. I really don't want it on my hands, so I'm going to just place it temporarily on the floor. Here we see that things have leaked a little bit, but overall it doesn't look bad. If I'm going to be careful now with my hand, be able to continue and make the rest white. And I'm regretting it now, for sure I am. Like this white line here, can you guys see it? Yeah, I'm doing a terrible job. This is when you're trying to put 2 colors, right? And you're a complete amateur with what you're doing. Could have made the... Oh no, look, come on. Overall, I'm actually quite happy with the results here. Yeah, so these are the things you have to learn if you don't want to spend a lot of money and still have bonsai still want to be a bonsai owner. This is something you will have to learn eventually. I will knock your door. I never even thought I will have to make pots, and here I am doing it. And I never thought I would be doing it in front of a camera. That's happening as well. That's necessary apparently. I'm not thinking of bonsai as my only job for the future. It's just my hobby, and I'm just vlogging about it, you know, just making a couple of episodes, a couple of videos, practicing in front of the camera. I've made a mess. So next lesson to be learned next time: cover up your workplace. Now I'll have to clean pretty much everything after that, so I'm trying to save time, but I'm making more I'm opening more jobs, more things to be cleaned, things to be done, so that doesn't really help. So we're back again. The pot has dried. Now I'm just gonna place my tree on the pot, and I'm just gonna see how the tree is gonna react in its new environment. I think the tree is gonna be fine. Baby over here, I'm gonna be pruning it a lot, but for the time being I'm just gonna place it inside and see how it looks like, how if the tree is doing fine. Like the bottom part, I've gently pushed some of the roots. I've tried. I'm trying to be gentle, so I don't want to break the roots. But if I have to break some, I don't want to break a lot. Like maybe 5% of them you can break. Like you can. I think the more roots you break, you're risking the health. You're risking that your tree is not going to be looking that healthy. So it's been sitting nicely. I don't mind that I'm higher, because slowly the tree is going to fill up all the edges with new roots, and then I'm going to be taking some soil out gently, so I can see which roots I want to keep and which roots I want to like get rid of, so I can have like a nice like the bottom part of the tree would look nice, and that's something you want to do. If you have some kind of like a shovel, or like you can even use a spoon and gently put things put back the soil. I don't have anything here. Oh, something else you can use, if you want to break roots apart, you can use any old fork like I have here. And what I've done, I've bent this part, and you can easily break roots with it. Like it's really useful. Help the roots to go under a direction that you would like them to go. But right now, this is not my if you don't have something like that, this is for like very weak roots, or maybe organizing the soil in a way you would like, you can create your own, because in this channel it's all about creating your own tools, your own things. This is something that's been very useful. I would rarely I've never really used this fork to eat food. It looked really old. Maybe I have once or twice in my life, but never. I was sitting in a corner forever, and I said, well, I'm gonna find a different use for it, and it's been great for this type of things. So you can very gently start piercing the soil and putting the roots on a direction you want them to go, and you're just trying not to break things. You don't want to, like, you have to be very gentle with it. Obviously, if it's at the beginning of the summer and your pot is you have like a really strong root ball here, it's fine. You can break some roots. You can take a 10 or 20% off of the tree and replace it with rocks or akadama soil or any kind of soil, to be honest. But depending on how much oxygen you want to like push on your tree. Getting the tree more naked around, and I can see a lot of roots. You can easily put stuff like that. So for example, have like a nice rock here, which I've found somewhere when I was hiking, and I knew there would be a day that I can find a use for it, so I can easily use this rock as some form of a design between these roots. And that's a way for you to, like, in a way, develop roots over on some objects. Like I have another one here. I've collected these rocks. I never really knew at the time what I'm gonna do with them. I just really liked how they looked, and I didn't know what I'm gonna be using them for. But as you see, I just like found a way. See, I always like to take stuff like that. I always like to collect rocks, and because you never know where you're gonna use them. You never know, you just don't. And I'm gonna put soil all around, so eventually all the roots will start hugging these rocks. And when that's gonna happen, I'm gonna slowly push the rocks. I'm gonna uncover them. And as you see, this is like a dog container. I hate using this type of containers because most of dogs are, at least my dog and the previous dog that I had, they're allergic to it. And the first sign that you can see if your dog is allergic to this kind of container, like aluminium, is by his nose will turn pink. So your dog's nose will no longer gonna be fully black, but the top part there's gonna be like a pink spot into it, and that pink spot is gonna grow and grow and grow and grow, and eventually your dog will have a 10% black nose, and all the rest will be just irritated pink. And a lot of people think that this is how they will say, oh, this is how my dog's nose looks like. It was always like that, and it was always like that because somebody kept feeding your dog in this kind of container. If you change your container to a different material that's not aluminium, you will quickly see that your dog's nose will start healing back. And on some dogs, maybe the damage would be permanent on the nose. So that's why I'm using it for different things, because we've rescued our dog, and when we took the dog, they gave us these containers. And I remember from my German Shepherd that I had this issue, and Nala, my dog, her nose will start getting pink, and the moment we swapped the container, that pink color went away and the nose became completely black. So that's another tip, advice for all those people who have dogs and they're just giving them cheap containers. Just buy something else. It will probably cost you an extra £1 or something. These things are really cheap. Don't take aluminium for your dog. That's it. This is how it looks like. So I'm not going to be doing any pruning now. I'm just going to let the tree to rest. I'm going to show you here how the new pot that I made look like. I think that looks good. I'm quite happy with what I'm seeing. The tree is going to be really happy here for a lot of time. I don't think I'm going to need to repot this tree for the next 3 or 4 years. I'm going to be always having an eye on the root system, and depending on its needs, I'm going to be filling up the pot with extra soil. We have the space, but I think it looks really good. All this dark soil will turn green very quickly. There is already moss here. There's already moss. I see all that is going to just expand really quickly. I'm really happy with this pot, and for the first pot it doesn't really look bad. We can give a house to a tree for a couple of years. It really costed me the ingredients to create this pot costed me less than £5, so less than £5 to have this beautiful pot. We're going to be having updates for this tree as well. So I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you're all healthy, and I'm going to be trying getting videos up every Wednesday. So see you all next Wednesday, and I hope you're all safe.